Okay. I'm standing on the slope of a long, dark hill. To my left is a deep ravine. With a river running through it. But the riverbed is dry. Sometimes it swells with water when the rain comes off the mountain and rushes down through the ravine towards the shore. In front of me is the Atlantic Ocean. And on the horizon, I can see a sister island. And beyond that, if I could see far enough, the yellow sands of the Western Sahara. But I'm standing with my back to all of this. I'm standing inside a internal-looking courtyard with glass walls that reflect my image back to me multiple times. The glass courtyard is also sloping, and to the left and to the right of me, there are large, deep, cavernous rooms. They have very high ceilings, and there are glass lights spilling down from the ceiling like condensed water or stalactites. Now I'm in this big cavern-like room with the stalactite lights. It's a library, but the books have not arrived yet. It's the inauguration of the building, and the room is full of well-dressed people, men in suits, women elegantly dressed in high heels. They're chatting, and there's a buzz in the air, real excitement. We are outside in the city. We're on the Ramblas. Beautiful trees overhead, an alley, a street. A group of people are moving together. Some of them are oddly dressed. They're wearing canvases painted with geometrical lines, some horizontal, some vertical, like grids. They're moving freely. Some of them are dancing down the Ramblas. They're sitting on benches. It's an action of a quite well-known Latin American artist. It's an action from the 70s that he's recreating, and he calls this conceptual athleticism, atlético conceptual. Incidentally, some of these canvas grids are still in the museum basement. There's a man on all fours in the gallery. It's a different exhibition. It's an exhibition of works from the permanent collection of the museum. He's wearing burgundy track pants, Adidas track pants, and a black shirt. And on his back, he has several bricks piled up. They're balancing. There are several more bricks around him, and he's looking at a spectator who's sitting against the wall. Everyone's wearing masks, by the way, except for the performer. And he's looking at him, and he's trying to get him to put an extra brick on his back. The lights go out. The audience is in the dark. And then suddenly, from behind the far gallery wall, you hear the sound of drilling. Very loud sound of drilling. There's a man behind the wall. Actually, there's a small kind of closet space between the two galleries. It's on the lower floor here. And the man, the artist, is drilling into the wall of the gallery. He's drilling holes through the wall, and he's piercing the wall. So each time he makes a hole, a little bit of light is spilling out into the room. There's a much bigger hole, which was there before, actually. And through that hole, there's a video projection on the wall of the gallery. It's a series of sort of blurry photographs, like family photographs, but from another time. Actually, they're photographs that belong to the museum. They're in the collection somewhere. They've been sedimenting there for a long time at this point, and the artist is, with this gesture, trying to bring them back to light, trying to bring them back to the surface. In the upstairs gallery, there are 3 women wearing beige. They have on beautiful beige light trousers and light beige silk shirts and white shoes. They're walking, stepping, kneeling, lying, in unison and in canon, and completely out of sync, only to fall back into unison again. The rhythm of their stepping and their walking is creating sound in the otherwise empty gallery space. On the walls, just a few artworks, some photographs and a collage, and 2 abstract drawings that match perfectly with the clothing of the performers, but also the minimalism of their gestures and movements. Two naked men, shoulder to shoulder, are stepping. They're skipping, actually. And as they skip, their knees are going higher and higher. Their naked sexes are moving to the rhythm of their movements. There's a woman in the hall. She's wearing a lace catsuit and Chanel high heels. And she has a black wig that totally covers her face. So she looks something like a creature or an insect. And she's dragging herself around the room, coming very close to people. She has 2 speakers on her back, and from the speakers you can hear the sound of a voice speaking in French. It's Antoine Artaud speaking in French. In the upstairs gallery, there's a man lying on the floor. He's wearing leather chaps, you know, the kind that are open in the back and the front. He's wearing leather chaps and a leather t-shirt. He's lying on the floor, and there are several microphones pointing at his face. He's reading a list of names and dates. The names of antiretroviral medications and the dates they were approved. On the floor over here, there's a latex body bag. And inside there's a woman. She's not dead. She's lying on the floor inside this latex bag. And there's another woman who's wearing a sparkly catsuit. And she's pumping the air, she's vacuuming the air out of the latex bag. And the latex is becoming more and more tight and form-fitting around her body. In another gallery, actually, this one here, another woman is, she's singing. She's singing. And in front of her, there's a large gray inflatable object. So it's a large gray, yes, thank you, sorry about that. Don't mean to be rude. It's a large inflatable object. It's made out of a gray rubber. And the performer's climbed on top of it, and she's singing into the rubber. She's singing. And as she sings, she's moving. So she's moving with the rubber. I'm really just showing you. I'm not doing this, but try. There's a woman. She has a handbag like a skirt, and she's lying on the pavement with her legs above her head. She has lit candles in her hands, many of them, several each, and she has candles between the soles of her shoes. Now there's a lot of water, and it's running down the concrete. It's outside. We're almost at the end of the building. Water is coming through a hose. It's getting everywhere. People are getting wet. And there's a group of performers with their bare bums in the air and their legs over their heads, close together, like almost like a flower. And in the middle of the group is a hose, and there's water sprouting into the air like a fountain. There are 3 men sitting in chairs. One is starting to sing, one is crying, and the other keeps saying, "Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop." The 3 men are becoming more and more active, and they're starting to dance ecstatically, and they're even walking across the space as if it's a catwalk, as if they're wearing high heels, but they're barefoot like me. Okay. We zoom out back to the long, dark slope, the ravine, the river going through it that has a dry bed, the mountains behind, and the ocean in front. On the horizon, the sister island, and if I could see that far, the yellow sands of the Sahara. The man is standing with his back to the space, and he's got a bag of sand in his hand. It's black sand, and he's pouring the sand into small piles on the sloping asphalt. It's an act of care or an act of repair. It looks like almost like a geometrical form or a tattoo of the building. The museum is a body, the host body and its parasites, the host and its ghost, and its ghosts. Past, present, and future.